In a faraway kingdom, there lived a maiden named Psyche. She is gifted with extreme grace and great beauty. Beauty to rival, even Aphrodite herself. People came from miles around to worship her and bring her gifts. Psyche became famous because of her beauty that the whole world watched to see.
Should we marry my daughter? Yes, your highness! Very well done, daughter. What can you say?
But despite all the men coming her way, Psyche stayed unmarried. The men's admiration for Psyche aroused the anger of Aphrodite, for no mere mortal deserves to be worshipped as a goddess. So she sent her son Eros, the powerful master of love, to punish Psyche.
Then what do you want me to do, mother?
You need to make a phone.
Very well then.
But Eros also fell in love with Psyche and was completely mesmerized by her beauty. On the other hand, Psyche's parents became so desperate because of their daughter's circumstances and had no choice but to ask for an oracle, hoping that they would manage to solve the mystery and give a husband to their daughter. Eros guided Apollo to give the oracle that Psyche is destined for no mortal husband.
What is it?
You are destined to marry an amethyst.
Whose face you will never ever be to see.
He's waiting in top of the mountain.
While her parents were dismayed, Psyche herself submitted and ran to the mountain top. There, she was swept away by a friendly breeze to a marvelous castle filled with attentive but invisible servants. There also she met her bridegroom, who was loving, affectionate, charming, and passionate. He visited her daily, but only in the dark. He gave her everything, and required only that she never ask to see his face. Psyche was allowed a visit from her sisters, who were jealous and concerned at the unusual marriage she had made.
How are you? You know what? In my whole life, I've been so sad. And now that I'm here, I'm so happy. I'm so contented. Are you sure? He's a monster. He's a monster. Of course not. How did you know that? It's a monster that will eventually kill you. Of course not. He's not a monster. You should kill him first.
Their suspicion persuaded Psyche to break her promise to her husband and make an attempt to view him in the light. No one was more surprised than she to see that the being she was married to was not at all a monster who wanted to hide his face in the dark, but the very god of love himself. Eros woke up and flew away, telling Psyche that she betrayed him and ruined their relationship so they could never be united again.
I'm sorry.
Psyche was devastated, but still started searching for lost love, and finally was suggested to beg Aphrodite to see him again. Then, Aphrodite gave her 4 impossible tasks to accomplish in order to prove her love.
Back. I will do anything. Anything just to have him back. I can't live my life without him. Please.
As her first task, Psyche is presented with a huge granary filled with a tremendous variety of seeds. Psyche confronts the piles, then bursts into tears, completely overwhelmed. While she is crying, some ants crawl out of the cracks and begin to organize the grain. Soon, a whole army of ants is busily engaged and the piles grow until by nightfall, all the seeds are neatly separated. Psyche thanked the ants and awaited Aphrodite's return. Aphrodite is very angry that Psyche has completed the first task. She sets another very difficult and this time dangerous task for the mortal woman. Psyche is to gather some of the golden fleeces and return with the shiny wool to Aphrodite. Psyche is quite sure this cannot be done and takes herself to the river, intending to throw herself in. There, the reeds growing by the river bank speak to her and tell her the secret way she can gather the golden fleece safely. Thanking the reeds for their wise advice, Psyche does this and presents Aphrodite with the woolly gold, infuriating her once more. Aphrodite has another task for Psyche. This time, she is to fill a crystal goblet from the fountain of forgetfulness and return with it to the goddess. Psyche's first response is overwhelmed and panic, just as usual. But by now, someone else entirely has noticed her dilemma, and that's Zeus. By now, he's decided that Aphrodite has taken this whole thing too far. He decides to step in and send his eagle to help Psyche gather the waters of forgetfulness. Upon the eagle's back, Psyche flies to the mountain top and the eagle stretches out his wings so that Psyche can climb out on it and safely catch some of the waters in the crystal vessel. Then she returns with the goblet to Aphrodite, who is, of course, livid. At this point in the story, Aphrodite is determined that Psyche must be done away with. So she devises the most difficult and diabolical task of all, a journey to the land of death itself, the underworld. Psyche had to go to Hades and bring the box with the elixir of beauty to Aphrodite.
I want Eros back.
Stand up, child. Be careful.
ordered her not to open the box. Instead of the elixir, there was Morpheus, the god of sleep and dreams, hiding in the box, and since the curious Psyche opened it, she fell asleep. Eros found out what happened, and he ran away from the palace and begged Zeus to save his Psyche. Amazed by their love, Zeus went even further. He made Psyche immortal so that the two lovers could be together forever.
I proclaim you, Psyche, as a goddess and wife of Eros.
The couple was blessed with a child named Pleasure, and they lived happily ever after. The myth of Psyche and Eros is probably one of the most beautiful Greek myths. It has been told and retold in several different versions, and it has inspired artists all over the world. The archetype of the Greek myth of Psyche and Eros appears regularly in movies and artifacts even today.